I got started in storytelling. I came at this as a teacher. I taught first, second, third, and fourth grades, Columbus Public Schools. And so as a teacher, I integrated some storytelling into the classroom. I did a lot of dramatic reading with the students as well. And then about 11 years ago or so, when I decided to leave teaching, I thought I would try to go into this full time. And it's, we were talking about it earlier. It's, of course, the challenge of being an independent artist, but it's, the rewards are incredible. What we did today was we shared some stories. I had an opportunity with the third grade students this afternoon to share with them a story from Ireland. That story was recorded in 1866 by Patrick Kennedy. We don't know who the storyteller was who told him the tale, but I'm of Irish descent. My great-grandparents came from Ireland. And I'll pause before I tell a story like that, and I'll think, did my great-grandparents, when they were children, did they perhaps hear this same tale? Did my great-great-grandfather, did he tell this story? And to be able to bring the stories to life like that and to get them excited about the stories, there's such joy in it. It's a way of learning about a culture, an excitement about books. They're fired up about going out and reading more stories. Many of those children are going to go home. They're going to share the stories that they heard today. And I don't know how that works. I do call it magic, because I drove up here, 3-hour drive, I came in, and in my head are 30-some hours of stories. And we had picked out, about 20, 30 minutes of those. When they came up in those buses, they didn't have a story about a little leprechaun, a lurricane in their head. They didn't have a story about Count Otto, who sticks his hand into a magical well and meets the fairy queen Agnetha. But those stories are in their heads now. When they go home tonight, many of them will place those same stories into the heads of their families, their parents, their grandparents. People are hungry. They're hungry for stories. We've got, what my running joke is, when I was a little boy, there were 3 channels, but there was more on. We have so many stories coming at us, but most of them are cotton candy, and they don't feed us. You go to the movies, you go to the theater, but oftentimes we're not fed. One of the differences between hearing a storyteller and watching a TV program, I can demonstrate with what I oftentimes do during question and answer sessions with children or even with adults. I'll say, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to try to picture that girl, Bridget, walking through the field. They close their eyes, and I'll say, think about what her face looks like. Think about the way she's dressed. Now, okay, open your eyes. How many of you could picture her? Every hand goes up. And then I'll pick a character from any TV show, movie, a cartoon. I'll say, okay, let's try and picture that character. Close your eyes. Try to picture them. See exactly the way they look. They all do it. Open your eyes. How many of you could see them? Their hands shoot up. And then I tell them, the Bridget that you saw, and the Bridget that you saw, and the Bridget that you saw, they all look completely different. If they were to sit down then in art class and draw the pictures of the characters that they heard as I told the stories, those characters would all look different. You say, hey, that's not what she looks like. It is to me. And then that famous character from this movie or that TV show or this cartoon, the one that you see, the one that I see, the one that you see, the one that you see, they all look exactly the same. What we did here this afternoon is very different than watching a TV show. It's very different than popping in your average video.
Why is it better?
Because we're truly using our imaginations. Truly. And how important is imagination? Well, you might have heard the quote, imagination is more important than knowledge. That's what Einstein said. I like what another storyteller, Michael Parent, said as a keynote address years ago. He said, have you ever been through those times when you're down, kind of going through a rough time, feeling depressed? Isn't it true? Isn't the reality that you really just couldn't imagine a way out of that? Everything in this room, everything that we own, it's all been created at least twice. It was first imagined. The stool I'm sitting on, the car I'm driving, the book I read, everything first exists in the imagination. Imagination isn't something that is just privy for the artist. It is across the board what we need. I mean, one of the things that I talk to people all the time about is that it's an honor to be able to do this work. One is, I'm honoring the ancestors. I'm part Irish American, part Slovak American. I tell stories from my own ethnic heritage. I tell Earth Mother stories and Christmas tales from around the world. So I'm getting to honor these stories. I'm getting to bring old stories to life. We get to learn about another culture through the story. Oftentimes the story has a message. We get excited about books. We're using our imagination. There are so many levels. We can use a story to instruct, whether it's teaching something about science or math. There's just so many pieces to it. And that is why I love what I'm doing.